Hello, I am Baron Dipidus, and here we are at kind of at the end of Brawlhalla Tales Nick's week. One fun little idea I had for a video for today was to kind of go through this whole thing without showing you the story or the actual pages and mention the lore references I can see. So this is going to be kind of like maybe a little bit. So I mean, by now, if you pre-ordered this book, the graphic novel, then you've probably read it by now. But if you haven't, then there's probably going to be maybe a bit of spoilers. But basically, I'm just going to be kind of going through the book like this. Without showing you exactly what's going on and kind of going over all of the lore references that I can find. At least lore references that are not always obvious. I'm not really going to go over exactly all the characters that appear necessarily. Just kind of anytime there's something that references a piece of lore that, might be kind of a, like, if you know sort of a thing. That's when I'll bring it up. And that'll kind of maybe, if you don't have this book and you're looking forward to reading it, then you can kind of look for it essentially as we go along. I'm not going to go over any of the lore references I found in chapter 1 because I believe I've covered it pretty thoroughly already in an earlier video. There's still maybe some cameos or references in chapter 1 that I missed. Definitely let me know if I have. But and also there may be a time when I give a more full if I give a more full review later, full of spoilers and everything like that. But I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I do that. But for now, I'm going to start with Chapter 2 and just mention all of the little lore tidbits that I can find in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Chapter 2. So we've got... so there's a bunch of posters in here. I see references to Loki, THNX, Jae-yun. I see Yumiko and Ragnir. There's a reference to Night Owls, which is a Sentinel's radio talk show. There's also a poster for the Brawlhalla Ladies Book Club, so I'm pretty happy about that. Pretty happy to see that. Poster with Scarlet. There's a poster of EFO, which is Electric Fight Orchestra, which is the band that has Fate, Ada, Olgrim, and Isaiah, but it's EFO and Raven Queen on the same poster. And then another poster with Lin Fei that says Inner Strength. So, some fun things there just already in Chapter 2, so be on the lookout for all of that. And then, let's see, moving on here. I think in the trailer for the graphic novel we see Thor and Kor commentating, so I think that'll be a lot of fun there. You've also probably seen the map of that arena with the lava and everything. Looks like a mine. That of course is definitely in there, just like in the graphic novel trailer. Let's see. Going through here. If you remember the emojis from Brawlhalla Fest, there were some that said that these come straight from the graphic novel. There was at least one, I think, from Chapter 1. I think there's a couple more in Chapter 2 as well. Actually, there are 2 or 3 maybe. So you'll probably recognize those when you see them, if you remember those. Here's a really cool thing. So of course, there's a fair amount of like fighting, like tournament fighting and stuff like that inside in this story. And there's a time when, Bryn and Nyx are talking strategy, and Bryn talks about, talks about dodge reading and, using the same move over and over again, sig spamming. There's, it's very clear, and even some of the action scenes clearly show, you can recognize, that's that's this particular signature or whatever for this particular legend. So I definitely watch out for that. Anytime there's a fight between one or more legends of Brawlhalla, you will definitely see a fair number of moves that mirror what we see in the game, which is really cool. But yeah, again, there's a moment where they're talking about the kind of things that you might hear some pros and commentators talk about when it comes to dodge reading, sig spamming, predicting, movement, predicting, anticipating movements and things like that. It's not significant, but it's pretty cool. I like I think everyone will appreciate that. There's kind of a mention of yeah, Ember, Orion, and Thatch there. Oh yeah, so there's a yoga class in the background. You may remember that Vector teaches a yoga class, so that there is a moment that is referenced in here. Very fun. It actually took me a moment to notice that. There's also a track, like kind of like a track and field kind of thing. So you can definitely see what probably looks like Thea running very fast around there. Let's see here. Pretty much every single moment that you see in the graphic novel trailer, you definitely will see in the graphic novel itself. So each of the individual scenes of like various legends, like the slow motion kind of like shots, like in mid signature. There's a reason they showed each of those. So there's that, including the combo moves that Nyx and Bryn do. You also get a little more insight into maybe some some people's abilities, right? Some of the legend abilities, especially Bryn and Nyx, like where the abilities and the energy that you see kind of like in their signatures. We need a little bit of insight into that, which is pretty cool. Some pretty epic shots of various legends in the middle of battles and so forth. Let's see here. Moving on. Oh, that was chapter 2, by the way. Everything I just mentioned, that was chapter 2. Chapter 3. So yeah, we see a bunch of legends hanging out, around dinner time and everything. Let's see here. There are some fun things inside the palace, inside the Odin's palace, basically. I'm not going to explain exactly how the palace works, but it's fun. I like it a lot. I see references to Hugin and Moonin, like where they might have band practice. There is a library in there, so I did look closely. I did not see any references to the Lore Book Club or to Serendipitous. I didn't expect any because the devs don't. They generally avoid doing direct references to real life people in a community, and that's completely fair. But there is a library in there, so that's cool. The let's see here. Oh, that's a very fun cameo. I think people will really enjoy that. There's a part where you see a bunch of like weapons and other things like hanging on a wall. I didn't see a lot of like significant like cameos or Easter eggs there, except maybe as kind of like an explanation of various weapon skins. Perhaps you might recognize a couple there. And so with let's see. Also, again, with the whole library thing, remember that Onyx participates in the Valhallan Ladies Book Club, but that she has trouble. Her big stony fingers have trouble with the pages. So there's a little thing in chapter 3 that kind of like you see Onyx like kind of being interested in books for a moment there. So that's very fun. Let's see here. There's that. There's some fun background lore for Bryn as well. I won't say any more than that. Some neat little things there. There's a word, scroot, that is mentioned a few times. I still need to figure out what that means. I've had a hard time finding the translation for that, or maybe it's just a made up word. It looks like a made up Old Norse word or something like that. But kind of said on the aside or whatever. There's kind of there's a character who is very well dressed up from the waist up, but then you only see them from the waist up, but then later on they kind of like move so you can kind of see the waist down, and you see that they don't really have they're dressed like for a Zoom for like a Zoom meeting or something during the pandemic, where you're really only dressed up from the waist upwards, but then you just kind of have your shorts or whatever from the waist down. I think that's a fun little moment in there. And then let's see here. again, there's a lot of like more specific things that I'm glossing over just to kind of like give you more of an idea of the sorts of things to expect in there. Yeah, once again, seeing more signatures. I think I'm in chapter 4 now, by the way. Yeah, I just barely started chapter 4 with the whole Zoom meeting thing. There is, yeah, some pretty intense action sequences there. Some pretty cool things going on. Let's see here. But yeah, an artifact that we haven't really seen or heard about before in Brawlhalla lore, but it makes sense. So it's not too crazy, but it's kind of cool. And then yeah, so then we see kind of Nyx mentions like considering doing more Valkyrie work because they do because she said, I understand you guys work on commission. That is something that is in Nyx's lore because Nyx says that she Valkyries when she can because it's 100% commission. So there's a little moment in there that mentions that, and also that she's a freelance angel of death. So, and then it kind of like leading to what Nyx is like now that we see in Brawlhalla in the official lore. And then the last couple of pages are just really fun. A little bit of I think if you have the if you get the book, I think you'll really appreciate the last couple of pages. I think 4 pages. It's not any story or anything like that, but just kind of some stuff, some nice little artistic gifts from the developers themselves, from the Brawlhalla developers. So anyway, that gives you an idea of all the sort of lore references that I noticed throughout the whole book. I wanted to kind of give you sort of more of a taste. I guess you could consider some of those spoilers if you wanted, but I think that it would be just kind of a little, not only like fun for those who are lore nerds like myself who would recognize those references when they see them, but also for those of you who have the book and did not recognize those, now you can look back and find those and appreciate them just like I do. So, but yeah, that's I guess this kind of concludes Brawlhalla Tales Nyx week from Sunday to Saturday. This has been a fantastic week to celebrate with all these videos that I've been making. I hope you've been enjoying them. I'll continue to look for ways to, ways to kind of enjoy the story and the art that we got from this fantastic graphic novel. And but I mean, for now, this is a celebration of I spent this whole week celebrating the release of this thing, and I hope you I hope these videos help you appreciate just how special this really is, not just for lore nerds like myself, but for the whole Brawlhalla community. This really is a huge step forward in the kind of like the expression of the world that is Brawlhalla. So yeah, I am considering a full spoiler review about in which I talk about like all the various story beats, what I think about them, and maybe a few theories that I have and everything. Even though the story does kind of wrap up nicely, at least for what it is inside this single book. But I have some fun thoughts. Basically all positive because I think this is awesome. But yeah, that might be a full spoiler review might be sometime next week or maybe later, depending on when I might be able to do that. But if nothing else, you have this full week of videos. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have been enjoying Brawlhalla Tales Nyx just as much as I have. Until next time, all the best.